We are live.
Good evening, everyone. We will begin the meeting for the Utility, Safety, and Environment Committee. The first item on our agenda is the approval of the September 9th, October 14th, and the October 21st committee meeting minutes. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The next item on the agenda is the matter of renewal of an agreement with Utilitex/Doxium for utility and stormwater billing. Superintendent Connors, please.
Yes, through you, Madam Chair. This is just us exercising our right to renew for 1 year the contract with Utilitech. They do all of our utility bills and any inserts or anything that we do in the bills. They send out probably about close to 300,000 pieces for us each year. We went out for bid last year and we awarded them the contract, and we have 2 additional years to renew, and we want to use that option. Actually, it actually started back on March 15th of 2020. We pay them for postage.
I'm sorry, who said that?
This is Eric.
Hi, Eric. Yes,
Hi.
please go ahead.
All right, just to clarify, this is not a renewal at this point because the original contract was never brought forth with our office. There are a number of terms and conditions that we were not satisfied with. We are treating this as a new 1-year agreement. It's my understanding that Mrs. Connors was going to shortly refer the next renewal on this. So we would actually just extend this out for another year and make it until March of 2022.
Oh.
That should
Okay.
make it easier. It should save her from making another referral at some point, but we are not treating this as a renewal. We're entering into an entirely new contract.
Okay.
Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that, Eric. I thought because we did have something in place last year. Okay.
Yeah, but that was never approved by our office, and that's when this whole all started, Debbie. That's when we told you that we had to, completely redo this contract and then take it through council before we could actually approve it.
Okay. That's perfect.
Okay. Thank you.
Are there
Mr.
any
Bruin.
questions in regards? The total cost is about $185,000 we pay them in a year.
Mrs. Davis, did you have your hand up? Go
Yes,
ahead, please.
through you, Madam Chair. So we don't have the contract before us. We haven't seen a contract, and because we were thought it was a renewal agreement. So is the contract ready, Eric, or?
Yeah, we already reviewed the contract, Mrs. Davis, and it is, I believe, Sufi Ndola in our office took care of this, and I was peripherally involved, so I am aware enough that it is pretty much ready to go once council approves it. Other than, as you know, I just heard from Amanda today, Debbie, that you were planning on taking another referral into council soon for that second renewal. At this point, we're 6 months into this one. I would say everything that Mrs. Davis just asked me, the contract is ready, except that I would probably extend that term another year instead of just doing a 6-month renewal now and then doing a year renewal in March. I would rather just do it until 2022. Other than that, Mrs. Davis, yes, the new contract is pretty well ready.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Are there any other questions for either Ms. Connors or Mr. Brunick?
I have a question.
Go ahead, Mr. Sarah.
I guess for Eric, you had mentioned in the beginning that there was some stuff in there that you didn't like. Has that been changed in this new one? I mean.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We went through a negotiation with them, honestly, before we realized that this had never gone through council as far as, the dollar amount. So we were actually ready to approve it, and then we held it back to make sure that it got properly referred and you guys approved the dollar amount so we can finalize the contract. But yes, all the not questionable, illegal, frankly, terms and conditions that we had noted in there that municipalities can't agree to have been removed.
Thank you.
Mhm.
So the dollar amount that we pay them per year is 185,000. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's in the ballpark because it's all by piece. You know, they charge us for postage and then by bills and inserts. But that's on the average.
Okay. Thank you. Mrs. Davis.
Through you, Madam Chair. So to Mrs. Carnes, is this a cost savings to the city?
Yes, yes, I truly believe so. We would need quite a bit of manpower to generate these bills and stuff these in envelopes and put postage on them. It's really a time savings to shoot the file over to them and let them process. Their turnaround time is probably within 36 to 48 hours.
Mm. All right, thank you.
And putting information into the utility bills is a great way to keep the residents informed. So it really
Yes.
is. Okay.
And
Are
they
there
do
any
the
other-
stormwater bills quarterly.
I'm sorry, please.
Through you, they do the stormwater bills also.
Okay. Okay. Are there any other questions? If not, I'll read the committee report. We have considered the matter of an agreement with Utilitech/Doxium for utilities and stormwater billing and mailing. And this is an ordinance to authorize an agreement with Utilitech as a utility department billing processor and mailing provider, excuse me. Emergency clause is requested since this will be a continuation of the current agreement.
We can take out that emergency clause. We're already 6 months into this, Debbie. If I'm not mistaken, we've been paying them monthly anyways.
Yes, we have.
Yeah, I would take out the emergency clause. I am staunchly against emergencies of our own making.
Okay, thank you. So no emergency clause.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So can I get a motion, please?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Mrs. Simmons, second by Mr. Sarah. Are there any questions?
Question?
All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, nay. Motion carried. The next item on the agenda is the matter of extending the current stormwater fee of $2.65 per equivalent residential unit ERU. Engineer Schneider, please.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. As everyone knows, approximately 5 years ago, the city, passed an ordinance to institute a stormwater utility. Part of that institution of that utility, the business community had expressed some concerns, if you remember, and a 5-year rate was created and locked in. As part of that 5-year rate, it's now been the 5 years. At this time, we're not looking to increase that amount at this time. We're just looking to carry it over until it's reevaluated at a later date. But currently, the city is using those funds for various projects, things like street sweeping, ditch cleaning, various sewer projects, and to cover the costs of the stormwater utility as well. So at this time, we don't think we need to increase it for any reason. But if council in the future wants to utilize stormwater funds for other things, and then maybe we would relook at that. But at this time, we just like to keep it at the 265 and continue with the work that we're doing.
And is this for another 5-year period, John?
It really is a utility that's just like a water and sewer utility. It doesn't go away. It's basically in perpetuity until unless the EPA changes their regulations. Every year the EPA regulations are getting stricter and stricter. A lot more things we're being asked to do. Things like monitoring, not only cleaning the storm sewers, but now monitoring the storm water. Then you have to test the storm water. So the regulations aren't going away in any way, shape, or form, unfortunately. So this is something I don't see us ever getting away from, unfortunately. in the future, it probably will increase with the amount of regulations that we will have. But at this time, we're managing it. It's working fine. So we're just asking to maintain it at the 265.
Thank you, John. Mr. Brunick?
Thank you, Mrs. Mitchell. And just to follow up on what Engineer Schneider said there, we have authorized that base rate on a continuing basis. What we did not do was define what that rate was beyond the first 5-year period. So that we have a rate that's in existence and will continue, but we don't know what it is until we pass this for an extension. I would suggest this time, and we have talked about this a little bit, that we just state that the rate is $2.65 unless or until revised by council at a future point.
Thank you. Are there any questions? If not, I'll read the committee report. We have considered the matter of stormwater utility service charges, and this is a resolution authorizing the continuation of the rate of $2.65 per equivalent residential unit, ERU, for stormwater utility service charges, excuse me, effective January 1st, 2021. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
It was moved by Mrs. Keys and second by Mr. Sarah. Are there any questions?
Question.
All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The last item on the agenda is the matter of the lead grant for the city. Superintendent Jacobs, please.
Yes, through the chair. If you recall, we applied for $1 million grant for the replacement of lead service lines on approximately between 200 and 300 homes. The lines will be on the public side, and if we find a private side, then we have to pay for that too out of that $1 million loan that's forgivable from the EPA. Initially, we were going to do a whole bunch of legislation tonight after I met with Amanda and Eric. Last week, we narrowed it down right now to one piece. I think you have the packet, it'll say example attachment A on the bottom. And I believe Amanda's or Eric are writing up that ordinance. And it just is authorizing the service director to apply and enter into a water supply revolving loan account agreement on behalf of the city of Elyria. It's their kind of mandatory wording for everything. And I believe the law department's going to doctor it up with what we need in it. And that's what will go to council next week.
That's correct, Mrs. Mitchell. We did meet with Superintendent Jacob. We went through all of the proposals that were submitted by the EPA, and that they do have certain guidelines. They let us stray from the exact wording because we have unique circumstances in each municipality. But all we need at this point from council is that authorization for the revolving loan account agreement. Other than that, I think all the other boxes have been checked or will be checked internally without further council action.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Mr. Jacob? Mrs. Davis, please.
Yes, through you, Madam Chair. So was there a deadline for this loan, to apply for this loan?
Through the chair, it's essentially first come, first serve. So this is why we're fast tracking everything. The bid documents and front end documents are going to the law director's office either today or first thing in the morning and to the EPA for approval. And tentatively, we're going out for bid next week. In 3 weeks, we'll open everything. And then our goal is to submit everything to the Ohio EPA before January 1st. And then we'll be at their first meeting in January to hopefully they'll give it to us.
Mr. Brunick.
Yeah, I just want to clarify, Sam, I think she asked specifically about a deadline for this, and it's my recollection that we already passed legislation allowing us to apply for and accept if offered the grant. So right now, just for Mrs. Davis' clarification, we've already applied for it. So we've hit that
Okay.
deadline. We may not get the grant, we may get the grant, but we're doing all the additional legwork required in the event that we do qualify for and are issued the grant. Is that correct, Sam? Is that fair to say?
That's correct.
Okay.
Okay.
They're gonna start awarding the grants the middle of January, but everything has to be to them by January 1st.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Mr. Davis. Mr. Jacobs, I'm sorry. Are there any other questions?
Call for the question.
Let me read the committee report.
Motion first.
Let me read the committee report. We have considered the matter of water supply revolving loan account, which is a WSRLA, and this is legislation authorizing Safety Service Director to apply for and accept and enter into a WSRLA agreement on behalf of the city for construction of replacement of lead service lines and designating a dedicated repayment source for said loan. I guess before I call for motions, Mr. Brunick, what exactly does that mean? Call for a dedicated repayment source. The loan is forgivable, is it not?
That's my understanding, yes. But I think that means in the event that for whatever reason it's not forgiven, then we would have to obviously repay it. So we're going to have to designate that account, and that would come from the finance director's office on the final legislation.
Okay, okay. Thank you. So I've read the motion, the committee report. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Moved by Mrs. Davis, second by Mrs. Simmons. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. There is no other business to come before this committee, so I thank you guys so much. I hope you have a great rest of your evening, and we'll meet on Zoom again soon. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
Everyone. Good night.
Good night, everyone.